your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschooled.
The Homeschooled Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey. Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm Agostino, Zoida. Welcome back to you, and welcome back me. I missed you guys. It's been a long week, and the last week's podcast was late in the week, and this week's podcast is late in the week. So it almost kind of feels like I didn't do a podcast for a week, but here is an episode coming at you this week. We ain't missing none. And you know what, guys? Sometimes you can't overstay your welcome. Sometimes things can go a little too much. And not only that, I'm, busy with a lot of projects, and I don't want to be forcing out episodes just because I have to, and then it's just not really a great episode. Plus, I had a guest cancel this week, and you know what? I'm here now, so thank you for your patience, and I'm here by myself. There's no guest today. There's no co-host. It's just me, and we're talking about one topic, which if you have been listening to a Homeschool Podcast, you know that when I'm here by myself, we're going to talk about something that's on my mind, and that's how today's going to go. I got a lot of projects going on, you guys. With the table read project that's going to come out soon, writing a couple of scripts, and just dealing with some stuff. Listen, guys, we're all dealing with stuff, and I know that it's personal for you, and there's something personal for me, and hopefully you missed us, and you're here now. And listen, guys, it's Homeschool Podcast. I'm the host, and I would like everybody to please keep in touch on homeschooledpod.com. It's the best way to reach me. If you click on contact, you can literally fill out a little message, and those go right to me, and I do answer those as soon as I can. So if you want to reach out, say hi, you want to talk about something, I'm here. Just keep in touch, you guys, on homeschooledpod.com, because as I'm getting shows, I am putting them on the website there. If you click on tour, there's not too many shows that I have right now, but I'm working on it. My Florida gig canceled, which sucks, and that was just due to, honestly, incompetent people. And hey, you live, you learn, you find things out. It sucks. There's negatives to it, but there's also positives to it, which you realize, hey, I got to learn a lesson of don't work with these people before it was too late. So that's a positive right there. But I still am going to Florida. I'll be in the area the weekend of April 8th through the 10th, and I'm going just to do a bunch of spots. I'll be there with Jimmy Schubert, who moved there, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'll be hanging around that town, you guys, doing spots every night, meeting new bookers and stuff like that, and just doing some good old-fashioned, comedy and spots. So as I start to know the places and the dates and times, I will start putting them on homeschooledpod.com, as well as tweeting them out and putting them on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, at Agostino Zoida on everything. And that's it, you guys. And while you're on the website, homeschooledpod.com, we ask that you please support the show by picking up a t-shirt, maybe a sticker, sweatshirt, hoodie. I'm wearing one of my sweatshirts right now. I love this dark navy blue Document the Journey sweatshirt. It's awesome. You can check out everything at homeschooledpod.com. Click on merch, and that's also where you'll find the links to my album, t-shirts, even masks and stuff. That's all under the accessories tab. So we really appreciate the support. Now let's get into it. We're going to talk about something that I would like to share with the world or whoever is listening. We're going to talk about belittling. So in a specific way, like there's many ways to belittle someone, but something that I've noticed lately, I've caught myself doing it, and I catch other people doing it. And I see the downside in it. And what that is right now people are opening up and sharing with you that they are having a rough time. And the reason it's probably happening a lot right now is, it's a year after the pandemic lockdowns. It's been over a year already. We all know during and throughout, and still people were struggling with mental health and, all kinds of depression issues and stuff like that. But right now we're getting to the point where people understand. There's so many podcasts talking about it, so many people talking about it. It's been over a year, and people are starting to get together again and talking again. And when that happens, you're going to start to tell people about what you went through or what you're going through. People are now feeling that they can open up. Like, man, I lost someone this year, or I really am struggling with mental health. I really considered suicide. And I notice that sometimes people's response to that is they'll say, dude, everybody is. Which might be true, because the whole world went through a pandemic, and we all went through stuff. The whole world went through some kind of mental health crisis, and we talked about this many times throughout the last year, guys, that that mental health was just as dangerous as going out and getting COVID. And I've talked about 100 times that, you had to weigh your options sometimes. Like, I've got to get out of here. I've got to go out and see people, talk to people, fresh air, and, sceneries, whatever it is. And we've talked about, as an artist, that if you can't do what you want to do, I'm a performer, and for the bookings to slow down, your wallet hurts. And guys, emotionally, it hurts, and it was depressing. And I've talked about this a lot. It weighs on a lot of people. But when someone comes to you and they start talking to you about what it is that got them, what it is that they weren't able to do that really took a toll, or maybe they're opening up to you about how during this whole thing they really, really got themselves down and started to see a therapist, stuff like that. Stop saying, dude, everybody is. Like, if somebody says, like, fuck, man, like, I'm broke, I haven't worked in a long time, and then people go like, dude, everybody, yeah, we know everybody is. We know the entire world went through a pandemic. We know all this stuff, but you have a person, a human being, who's opening up to you. And you know what, guys? They're opening up to you because they need this support. And to say something like, yeah, we all do. And maybe you even mean it like you're saying me too. But you're like, you say like, yeah, join the club. But don't say that, because even though it's true and we all are going through something and went through something, even though that's true, the person who opened up to you needs to hear something else besides, yeah, me too. Or, yeah, everybody in the world had to deal with some kind of demon this year. They're telling you because, number one, they need someone to talk to. And they probably could also use some encouraging word. So either make them feel heard, and then maybe if you feel like you can, give some encouraging word back. I can't tell you how many times I've said something to somebody, or they've said something to me, and I was like, yeah, everyone is. It's a little belittling. Like, it almost kind of shows like this thing that you consider to be your big problem that you're really struggling with, as soon as you finally let it out and open up to someone to talk about it, they're going like, that's not a big deal. It's almost kind of saying like, that's not a big deal. But whatever it is that the person's going through, and a lot of us might be going through the same things, but it's still a big deal to them. And they're opening up to you. And I'm not saying to sit there and don't say anything. Make them feel like you're a good listener and they're being heard. And then at the same time, you can encourage them. Okay? Really quick, let's stop right there. I just would like to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by Masterclass. Masterclass is a great way, and this is a great time to take a class on something from the comfort of your own home. Listen, guys, whatever you're interested in, there's a subject on it. There's a course on it. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have a lot of time. And there's no more excuses to do that thing that you want to do. Take that class and that thing you want to do, or just better yourself in a subject. Even if it's, writing poetry, or, maybe you already write poetry and you really enjoy it and it's the one thing that gets you through some stuff, or writing short stories, whatever it is, take a class in it. I'm sure you're great. I'm sure you're talented. I'm sure it comes to you naturally and that's why you're so interested in it. Well, everybody should always be better and go further with their what their interest is. Even if you're already good, it's never a bad idea. As a comedian who's been doing this 12 years, I never consider it like, oh, I don't need to go back and take classes anymore. Guys, I take classes, I'll take courses, I go back and I'll talk with other comics that have more experience than me. Even go and take a basics class. Even if you're already, several years beyond the basics, it can't hurt to go back to basics, make sure there was no original formulas that you weren't forgetting that might, help you right now if you reapplied those things. And a lot of you, it's just a new thing that you never really pulled the trigger on. I've always wanted to do this, or I've always wanted to get better at this, or, some people enjoy cooking. It might just be because it's relaxing for you, whatever it is you want to learn. It might be, it's relaxing, it takes my mind off things, or, I have an interest in it, it's fun. Whatever it is, they've got a course on just about anything. They're my favorite sponsor. They've been with us the longest, and I just think it's such an important service, and I never get rid of them as my sponsor because as long as they'll have me, I'll just keep telling people about it because it's so important. And right now, you can click the link in the description. You can, let's say you want to take a course. It's normally like $90 for a course. If you want to improve your basketball skills, there's a course. Comedy, writing, poetry, screenplay writing, acting classes, cooking classes, baking classes, how to be a bartender, how to make cocktails and stuff like that. Each course is like $90, but click the link in the description and you can sign up to have access to the entire website of Masterclass for 1 year for the price if you were just getting 2 courses. So if you were going to take 2 courses anyway, get the whole year, okay? And you can even split it with a friend. Like, yo, bro, let's go halvesies on this. You guys share the password and all that stuff. And especially if you got like a roommate or it's your partner, spouse, that's like a perfect way to do it. You can take separate classes. You take writing, I'll take comedy. You take cooking, I'll take acting. Whatever it is you're into, split it up, split the cost. And you got it for the whole year. And the best part is it's on your budget. It's on your schedule. So there's no longer any excuses not to pursue. Okay, back to the show. Back to talking about belittling. And I don't want you to think that what I'm saying, don't say anything back or don't try to make it seem like it's a big deal and you've never experienced it. Don't go the opposite either. Don't be like, oh, I don't know. Don't make somebody feel like theirs is too outrageous or anything like that. Because another thing that's going to help is if you are relating. Sometimes it is important to show that you can relate. When somebody says, they lost their parent or something like that, and then somebody says like, oh, I'm so sorry, or I know how you feel, who hasn't lost their parent, people will go like, well, you don't know how I feel, you never lost your parent. But people who have lost their parent, they'll go like, oh, I know how you feel. But there's a good balance between belittling or making it seem like that's not a big deal because I went through that already. Oh, or like join the club, or we're all going through that. We've all lost someone. There's a big balance there. And then also you don't want to be like so foreign to it that they feel alone. So there's also a timing factor that comes in. So don't right away try to relate. Like as soon as someone tells you like, oh, I lost someone, you go like, yeah, I lost my parents too. Like right away. No. Hear it, let them get it out, say you're sorry, let them know you're there for them, just let them feel heard, let them feel they can talk to you and tell you more. Maybe ask questions, man, how have you been dealing with it? Because their mental health is down. There's a lot of people whose mental health is declining and they know it. We all know it, and we know we need to talk to someone. People are starting to come out and talk about this. And they're going to come to you. Someone's going to come to you And the response shouldn't be a belittling feeling like, yeah, we're all out of work, bro. We all haven't had that much money in a year. Hey, we're all on unemployment. That's not your go-to. Oh man, I almost considered suicide. I'm going nuts just sitting in my house and not being able to talk to that many people and not being around people anymore. Haven't been able to hug my friends. Dude, yeah, none of us have. That's not the answer. But then let them feel heard. Let them get it all out. Maybe ask them questions so that they know you're listening and you're a good listener and you're also kind of finding the story in there that's deep down and it gets it out. And then once they're kind of got stuff out and they're talking to you and everybody feels comfortable with you, then maybe around you can go, when I was so and so age, I lost my parents. Like a little later, you can bring it up. So now they know that you can relate to them, and you let them get out their thing, and now you can tell your story. So don't belittle, and try to relate, and just be a good listener, and don't undermine anybody's problem. If the problem seems common to you, if the problem seems like it's not that big of a problem, you don't need to really shove that in somebody's face, because they're having a problem and they felt that they could come to you to talk about it. And everybody needs somebody to talk to about this right now, and you might be the next person that someone comes to. So I just thought that was important for people to know about right now. Sometimes, maybe the way that you grew up, you struggled. Maybe, you grew up poor or whatever. Your family struggled with poverty. Maybe you've had to work your whole life as a kid, or you didn't go to college or something like that. Whatever it is, and then somebody comes to you with a problem that you wouldn't even consider a problem, because to you that's like, I had that problem when I was 12, bro. Like maybe to you it's like, oh, you're complaining. I've done that my whole life type of thing. Sometimes people's problems are not going to seem that big to you because we all are on different levels of life. But they're going through it right now. And right now, everybody needs a friend to lend an ear. And everybody needs a support system. And there's people out there that, they don't necessarily have a big support system or a strong one. And there's people during this that are in a relationship. And I know a lot of people that struggled during their relationship during this pandemic. We all heard that, like, oh man, a lot of divorces are going to happen because people were stuck in the house together. Couples stuck in the house together. And after a while, it's like, okay, I love this person, but it's too long to be this close to each other. A lot of people live in apartments, and you're stuck with the same people all the time. So those aggressions, it can come out, and it can cause arguments. So it was a rough pandemic for everybody, and then you have single people who are sitting there really going through it, and they're thinking like, man, like, why wasn't I in a relationship or living with someone or something right before a pandemic? Like, I'm stuck here alone. And then the opposite, people in relationships that, it was a rocky time for them. They might be thinking like, man, why didn't I break up before the pandemic? Oh, bad timing. Now I'm stuck here with this person, So everybody's going through it in different ways. Try to relate and try to not belittle and undermine people's depression. And also try out for yourself to remember that whatever situation you're in, there's probably somebody else who's wishing that they were in it. And try to make the best of that. Try to make the best of the situation that you're in. Because somebody else who's not in your situation, when they got in it, if they got in it, they would make the best of it. Because it's maybe what they wanted. It's maybe what they were kind of dreaming for and hoping for. So they're going to, at least in the beginning, really make the best of it and appreciate it and be like, oh, I'm free or whatever. Or the opposite, or oh man, I'm finally have a companion. So somewhere out there, someone's looking at you going, I wish I had that, and vice versa. And then keep in mind, this is the message of the day, you guys. Everyone's going through something. But that doesn't mean, because it's so common right now, that it doesn't matter. They all matter. The small problems, the big problems, the depression, the fear. What might not matter to you matters to them. Some people, they're not afraid of COVID. They're more afraid of mental health and staying in their house. But then there's other people who are more afraid of COVID, or whatever it is, you guys. This is just an example. But, you have those different types of people. So you might look at those people and be like, this guy's worried about COVID. Like someone opens up to you their fear about catching it or something like that. Or maybe giving it to their mom or grandmother and them dying or something. And you're going like, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about my mental health. I'm worried about getting out, going out and living my life again. Or vice versa. When these people come to you and their problem is not your problem and their fear is not your fear and the things that you're worried about are not the same things that they're worried about, it doesn't mean it's not a problem for them. And some people don't have a lot of people to talk to, or for whatever reason they came to you. Maybe they do have a lot of people to talk to, but there's something about you that they just felt that they could tell you. Try to be understanding. Don't undermine people's feelings. Don't belittle. Consider everyone's mental health, not only your own, and consider your own. And try to relate. And that's the message today. And I really appreciate you. I appreciate your patience on getting these episodes out. And here it is. I hope that you are subscribed on YouTube. If you're not and you're only listening to this, you can't see that my hair is a giant mess right now because I literally did a workout and then did the podcast because that's how my days have been going lately, just trying to squeeze everything into one day. So, but if you aren't subscribed on YouTube, please do already. We came to YouTube late. Our podcast was always audio, and now it's video. So Homeschool Podcast is now video, and we are trying to build the YouTube. So please go and subscribe to the YouTube. My YouTube channel is just my name, Agostino Zoida. Links on the bottom. Links are at homeschoolpod.com. And please subscribe, comment on the videos, thumbs up the videos, whatever you can do to help out. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions for me about today's topic, or if you just want to talk, like I said, homeschoolpod.com. Click on contact. That contact card that you can fill out, those messages will go to me. I'll talk to you guys, okay? And that's it. Like I said in the beginning, not too many dates. I'll be in Florida. As I know the dates and times, I'll start putting them out there. So make sure you follow me and you go to the homeschool website, homeschoolpod.com. And then I think in June 19th, the day before Father's Day, I'm in Paso Robles. So that's another gig that we can, you guys can go to if you're in the area. That's a really fun little town. Lots of wineries, lots of breweries. It's going to be fun. You can get more info on that at homeschoolpod.com. Click on tour. And guys, click on merch. Get your homeschool t-shirt. I got a new t-shirt design coming soon, but right now you can get the Document the Journey. We got the ex-president's logo. They're unique. They're badass t-shirts, and you're supporting a good show with good people, good comics, artists like you. And don't forget, you guys, someone's going to come to you soon. Do not undermine. Do not belittle. I'm Agostino Zoida. Don't forget that only love can save the world, and that's what you're going to do by not undermining and belittling people. This is Homeschooled Podcast. Peace. Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
No, okay.
I don't want to do that at all.